Okay, friends, this is our last class for this week, so you should be excited. So we are making our little weather lap book, and so we've got to go outside today and see what the weather is like. And actually, it is still, what is today? I have lost track of what day it is. It is Tuesday, so I have already been outside with y'all earlier today. And there is a reason that I'm making these videos today, and I'll explain it later. So I really don't want to go back outside today and tell you the same thing that I've already told you. So it will be a different day for you. It will be Thursday when you are watching this. So I need you to put it on. Is it cool? Cold? Freezing? I hope it's not freezing. Or is it warm? Or even hot? So put it on whatever the weather is. Remember, weather is daily. It changes daily. It's not really predictable as far as, is it going to be hot today or cold today? They can't do it too far in advance. Usually one day to maybe a week, and then that's about it. But climate is over the whole year. You can look at the weather every year in a certain place and say, well, it's always this in the winter, it's always this way in the summer, it's always this way in the spring. That is the climate of an area. All right, so we've been learning about storms, and we have learned about thunderstorms. Can you tell me something about a thunderstorm? What happens in a thunderstorm? There's a heavy rain shower. What else? Lightning, a lot of lightning. What else? And thunder. Yesterday we learned about a hurricane. What can you tell me about a hurricane? It's the deadliest storm. Very good. It is miles wide. Very good. And where does it start? It starts over the ocean. Very good. So flip that little flap up. And what is the next one we're going to learn? Blizzard. Today we are going to read about blizzards. What is a blizzard? Let me tell you, Texas has never had a blizzard that I have ever seen. I have not looked up all of recorded history, but Texas is too hot for blizzards. But my family did move to Wyoming. Wyoming is at the northern part of the United States. It's straight above Mississippi, so it's more on the east side than it is the west. It's not the east coast, but it is closer to the east coast than it is to the west coast. And it is very close to Canada. It is very far north. And we moved there in February, and it was extremely cold. I could not believe how cold it was. I've never been in so much cold. The first day we were there, we were unpacking, and I was so excited that the children were going to get to see snow. We had never really seen snow. If it had, it hadn't been very much. And it was just snowing like crazy. And a little girl from next door, she was probably 10 or 11. She had come over. She was very friendly. And I said, well, is it safe to go outside? And she's like, yeah, I guess. So I let the kids bundle up in what little bit of coats that we had, and they went outside, and it was terrifying. And when they came back in, it was not really funny. It was terrible. But they were terrified. They had lost their shoes. They thought they couldn't find their way home, and they hadn't gone very far. So, I would have gone out and looked for them if it had been too long. But they were really scared coming back, because when snow is falling and blowing, it's worse than rain, I believe, because it's like white, and you cannot see very far in front of you, and all around you is white, and you can't see this way or behind you. So very soon you can't tell which direction you're going, and so the ground is all white, so there's no landmarks for you to follow. So they had gotten pretty scared, and Elizabeth was very small then, and she said she kept falling down into the snow, and I think somebody just grabbed her and and said, let's go. And so it was really very dangerous, but it was very naive of us because we didn't know how dangerous a blizzard could be. And then I'll tell another quick story. I was traveling back to Mississippi, and it was the same winter. It was just a few days later, and I had to go back for an important reason. And I remember seeing these white ribbons, and it was dark, but I could see these white ribbons falling out of the sky, and I'm like, what is that? I know it's snowing, but why does it look like ribbons? And so I was driving into a blizzard, and it probably wasn't the most severe blizzard on earth, but it was pretty heavy snow, and I could not see, and wherever there were no street lights, I was so afraid I was going to fall off of the road. And big diesels would go by me. I guess they could see, and they would just splash a huge amount of snow on this little bitty truck I had. And when I finally got to a place where I could stop and I pulled over to get some gas, I could not believe at the amount of snow that had covered the truck. It was a small truck. It was a little Ranger, and so it was just packed with snow all over it. And I'm like, dear God, thank you for letting me make it through that alive, because that was terrifying. So blizzards are very dangerous, and you never want to be in a blizzard, and you just want to take shelter and stay put if you're in a blizzard. All right, let's see if we can read about this dangerous storm. Blizzards are huge snowstorms. They have winds of at least 35 miles per hour. Now, when we are driving, normal driving is 60 miles per hour, so it's only half that speed, but it's pretty fast if you're out in it. It's pretty hard to see through. Usually at least 2 inches of snow fall per hour. So it's building up 2 inches per hour, and that's a lot of snow coming down. Temperatures are at 20 degrees or lower. Freezing is 32. So if you're out in 20-degree weather, what's going to happen to your body? You're going to freeze to death because the temperature is 20, which is much below 32. Falling and blowing snow make it hard to see in a blizzard. What is this a picture of? Can you tell? It's a truck that has tipped over in all of this snowstorm. Either there was too much snow on the road and he tipped over, or the wind blew him over. Not safe driving conditions in a blizzard. It says, let me show you the pictures. In March of 1993, a major blizzard struck the East Coast. Now, what states are on the East Coast? Rhode Island, I think the Carolinas. All of those are along the East Coast. New York may be on the East Coast too. I don't know if it goes all the way to the sea, but I think it does. You'll laugh at me because I don't know. Cold temperatures, high winds, and heavy snows hit from Florida to Canada. Now, Florida's at the bottom of the United States, so it hit all along the East Coast, all the way up to Canada. It was very unusual. Millions of people lost power. What does that mean? They lost power. Yes, the lights went out, so this snow broke down the power lines, and so millions of people were just in the cold. They spent days in dark, cold homes. Thousands were stuck on snowy highways. You see how this bus is still able to travel, but these people could not travel. They were more like this truck right here. They were stuck, nowhere to go, couldn't travel. They were stuck on highways and in airports when planes were grounded. So they were going to take a trip, and I guess they didn't know the blizzard was coming, and the blizzard hit, and so now the planes can't fly, and they can't get home. They're just stuck there, especially if they're ready, like say they went on a vacation to a faraway place. Maybe they live in Texas and they were vacationing in Florida. They got out of their hotel, they went to Florida, the airport, and now they can't go back home to Texas. They can't get back out and go to the motel, so they're just stuck there for days. And, you know, they didn't have food, so I guess the airports had to feed them because airports do have restaurants, so I guess they had to eat restaurant food there. All right, and that's all we have about blizzards. So let's see what we can write about blizzards. We're going to get our little flap book. What's the main thing we need to know about a blizzard? A blizzard is a snowstorm, okay? So it's a bad snowstorm. So we're going to write in the little purple book, and I'm going to show you what I want you to write. A blizzard is a huge snowstorm. It has 35 mile per hour winds. MPH, that's miles per hour. It's the front letter of each of the words. Miles, per, hour. That starts with an H. 35 mile per hour winds. 20 degrees. Do you see that little tiny circle above 20? That stands for degrees. That's a thermometer measurement of temperature. 20 degrees or lower. So pause this video. Write that on your little book. Okay. All right. So when you get that done and you've unpaused, I'm going to I'm gonna go get something that I need. I'll be right back. I'm just gonna go over here to the counter. Yes, I forgot this. So I had an experiment that we were going to do today, but it really does not go with blizzards, so we're going to wait and do that. So I know you may have already prepared your stuff, mamas. Just hold on to that. We will do that Monday. But I want you to get out, go to the back of the stuff that I gave you, and there's some vocabulary sheets. Okay. We're going to look at this. It's the weather vocabulary pocket. Okay, so we're going to cut it out. Cut it out. Cut on the black lines. Do not cut on the dotted lines. The dotted lines are for what? Folding. Okay. So I'm going to cut mine out. You get started cutting yours out. I gotta get my scissors. I was just leaving y'all hanging. Y'all can fast forward through this part of the video. I'm so sorry. But I had to get my scissors, and I've got to get one more thing. I've got to get my glue. All right. So sorry. All right, so we're going to cut it out. You're going to be cutting yours out. You probably already have got it finished. Do not cut on the dotted lines. Cut on the outside of the black lines, because we're going to fold on the dotted lines. This is going to be our little vocabulary pocket. Alright. So do you see this dotted line right here? I'm going to fold on it. See? I folded it to the back. This is the back. I folded it up. Okay, so do that and crease it and press it tight. Okay, now you've got these, fold it back down, and you've got these little side dotted lines. We're going to fold on those. Okay, press it. Okay, you see I made a flap. This is what it looks like on the back. Okay, and you're going to do the same thing on here. You're going to fold it to the back away from the words. Okay, so I'm going to crease it. Now, I've got this, and I've got this. Alright, so what we're going to do is, we're going to put glue on this strip and on this strip. Okay, so I'm going to get my glue. You get your glue stick. And I'm going to put glue right on this strip. Glue right on this strip. Okay, I want to show you. I've got glue on the strips. This is the front, and this is the back. I'm going to fold this up and press. Okay, I'm going to press. So now I've got it this way, and I've got it this way. Okay, so I can open it up. It's a little pocket, but it needs to dry good, so don't move it around very much. Now get your lap book out, and it goes Let's see. It goes down on the bottom of this side. So this side has our storms. This side has our little weather slot. It goes on the bottom of this one. Okay? On the bottom of this one. So you're going to glue the back, but do not glue this top. Only this back. Okay? You do not want to glue that because you've got to keep that open. So put your glue on there. I've got my glue on there, and I'm going to glue it to the bottom. Let's see, I'm going to move it to the edge. Okay. Now I have it, oops, have it right here. I have it on the edge, okay, of this flap. Now it needs to dry very well before we start sticking stuff in there, but we can start making them today. So, what you need to do is look in the back of your little packet. Well, I don't seem to have mine. I think it's because, here they are. Okay, so your vocabulary cards look like this. What have we done on here? We have done hurricane, and then there's another one. Have we done anything on this one? Nope, haven't done anything on that one. And the next one is clouds. Alright, so I'm going to cut out hurricane. Get my scissors. I'm going to cut right on the black lines. I really don't want to cut all of them out yet because I haven't done all of them. Alright, so I have fog and hurricane. I'm going to cut off the bottom. Now I have hurricane and fog. I'm just going to cut them apart. Now, fog can go back in my bag. And now I have hurricane. Now what am I going to write on hurricane? I'm just going to write one little definition. I'm going to use a pencil so I can write very small. And I am going to put a storm over the ocean. A storm over the ocean. Okay, it looks like this. A storm over the ocean. Alright, Gage and Leon and Braylon and Micaiah, I need you to write that down on the back of hurricane. A storm over the ocean. Okay, pause that video if you need to. Now, as soon as you can tell that this is dry, we're going to stick our little vocabulary words in there, but I really want to make sure it's good and dry because I don't want it to get stuck and not come back out later. So I'm just going to leave this open like this so it can dry, and later on today I will put hurricane in there because we have learned hurricane. Okay. Alright, so that is all we are going to do in science today. We are not going to do the experiment. We are going to save that for when we do tornadoes because it has more to do with tornadoes. So mamas, if you've already prepared the equipment, just save it. We will do it Monday. Alright, I hope y'all have a blessed weekend, and I will probably see you sometime Friday with a new packet. And I think that's it. I love you all. Bye-bye.